Hey, folks. I actually want to talk about surviving COVID and face the ordinary, extraordinary American citizen who survived this terrible monster and what I actually witnessed and experienced firsthand. I'll just go through my story. I live in Los Angeles, California, along the coast, and I know that I came in contact with this virus between Wednesday night and Thursday morning. And so it was Thursday morning. I was coming back from traveling. There's a area we have where we do walks. There's like a little manufactured lake. And there's all this talk about stay indoors, don't go out, don't go around, this is and that. But I didn't want to live in fear. I didn't want to break the rules. I did wear a mask. I did wash my hands. I did everything accordingly. But for instance, there's just no way you could not get around it, because for people who are with pre-existing chronic illnesses that affect the immune system, such as there was no way around it. It could have been at a store on an object. Someone could wipe their nose and touch something. There was just no way of getting around this. So to defend the people who feel like there's discrimination against them, I can justify and say that if you have a pre-existing immune compromised or a compromised immune system, or you have a chronic illness that was severely compromised, or you have a chronic illness that affects your immune system, from my observation, this hit you really hard and it took you out, and or it took people out. So if you ratio the people who have lost their lives to this unfortunate situation, what were their pre-existing conditions? What did they have prior to? Because my situation is very similar to that. I didn't have coughing. I didn't have sneezing. You can still hear it's kind of sort of my nasal. But this COVID went right to my heart. It just went right to my heart. And so let's say, for instance, I did touch something and it was in close proximity of my face. Let's say there was some kind of vapor. It could be cigarettes, it can be pot, it can be steam vacuum cleaner or hot tea. There was just you can break it down in so many thousands of ways of what transmitted from a person's nose. The virus had to been the virus, right? So whoever had to been a host or infected, it had to leave their nose or their mucous membranes, and it had to go to another host or someone who carried it and carried that to a host. So Thursday night, I had a panic attack. I had anxiety. I was feeling weird, and then my heart was racing. Usually I get that, but this one was different. This one was like ongoing for 2.5 hours, and I was like, if I don't get up and go to the emergency room, I think this is it. And it was either a choice to stay here and wait, like the media has been saying, wait it out. But then waiting it out is what was the issue. As soon as you figure out that this feels uncomfortable, this is off, boom, you want to go to the ER. Go to the ER. Because when you go to the regular hospital, there is a longer period to do this test. You have to do this whole, it takes longer to get your results when you go into a regular hospital. But when you go to ER, because you have a symptom, you can find out right then and there. That's as easy as possible. An emergency room is actually more prepared for these things, and they can help mitigate and monitor, because this situation targets your blood pressure, targets your heart rate, and anything respiratory. So if you had, let's say I had conjunctivitis in my eyes, it came back. Fat staph on my cheeks, it came back. Everything that was fought off and created antibodies, and dormant came back. If someone is HIV positive, same thing. You will feel the same symptoms as if you were infected. So those are the indications from my perspective that the things I felt before, I felt them again. If I were to connect and compare what I've had before, I did have chickenpox. So maybe me having it before made me more susceptible of this. I don't know. It's up to the scientists to take the information being spoken to and putting the research behind it. When I get to the line, I get my blood pressure checked. It's 101. I go inside the hospital. My blood pressure is going up. My fever is going up. I actually hit 106. And we all know anything over 104.5 is stroke level. So I've already passed where I should have passed. And for a good 5 seconds, I went to 110 and I went back down to 101. So I think that was when I tolerated the attack. I tolerated the heart rate, tolerated all the anxiety that came with it because it was atrocious. It could have been what I had for dinner the night before. It could have been, I don't know. There's no way you could ever be prepared for this, and you can do so many guessing games, but in my assumption, through my experience, I can say having a pre-existing chronic illness that infects or affects the immune system on a daily basis still, that is what attracted it right to me. So, or could be, no, don't do it, Aaron. We want a generic video for the people who do have symptoms. This is just for you guys to know. If you have a urinary problem, I've read that certain people had, like for men, they had a difficult time pushing when they urinate. And that awkward feeling, that delay in releasing your urine, that's where you want to say, something's not right. Then go to the ER and check yourself. But waiting it out, I don't know. At least in the ER, you can get an IV. An IV will help you monitor your blood pressure and your cholesterol levels and all that. It can help you flush it out faster. And I think that's where there's a loophole. People are put on ventilators. That's because it's too late. This is not a long progressed flu virus. It's not a flu. This is like it's a breakdown. It's similar to if you guys were to research sulfur dioxide poisoning. It's very similar, same description, same reaction. So if you treat COVID the same way you would treat sulfur dioxide poisoning, I think you will have a good direction to go in terms of treatment. But by the time hours go by, it's just too late. It's like when you put your hand in lava. There's just not enough time to, it's not enough time. So that's all I'm going to leave everybody is I'm doing well today. I broke the fever within 30 minutes. So first the fever drops if it got to 99. After 99, I was able to get the IV. IV helped me regulate everything in my body. I was able to control my anxiety, my panic. I was able to control my heart palpitations. And after that, it was 3 hours that went by, and then they discharged me. Boom, like that. The awkward thing was there was no treatment, no vaccine. There was anything, there was nothing. But because I am taking antivirals for my condition, I think that was their only way that they could say, as long as he's taking the antivirals for his condition, he'll get through this. Excuse me. I come back home. Yesterday I felt good. That was Saturday. I was able to walk around. I felt great. This was like a step forward before the step back. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. So I feel great. Yesterday afternoon by 3 a.m. this morning, which is Sunday Mother's Day, it felt like I'd taken too many Benadryls. And it was very hard and difficult. My nose was stuffed up. I didn't have like a closed throat. And that's where I think a lot of people are waiting to expect what is being described as the symptoms. But I didn't have any of those that are being described. Zero. I just knew the indication was the rapid heartbeat, and I knew the condition was also going urinating in the bathroom. So those were the two indicators where I'm like, something isn't right. And I was actually developing right then and there because I backtracked on if I visited someone or visited a place or had a visit. I have a friend who owns a general store, and I wear a mask. And I checked with the whole list of people, and they all like had the test and they were negative. So if they were negative or asymptomatic and not having symptoms, and they've gotten to the point where they tested negative, it couldn't have been me to give it to them. It had to be the other way around. So that's how I was able to say, I think I just came in contact with it while en route to something, or I may have touched something at the store because that was the only thing open where you can go to, or on a commuter train or something such. My hands were touching a lot of stuff and I touched my face a lot. It just happens. You just have to be responsible when it's here and it arrives. Be responsible. I want to clarify one thing. Quarantine doesn't mean it's like a tornado that's coming. You have to take shelter and let it pass and it's over. That is not how that works. Quarantine is a operation that you take whenever you know you're going to be infected with something. So assume that everyone go home and quarantine. Most of us did not. Most of us went hiking, went to the beach, we went to a friend's house. We did social distancing, but we didn't stay put. And those of us who didn't stay put, you got infected. But you still went to the orders, and the orders was quarantine. So here I am, and because I followed the orders, and I'm a fitness professional, so I was able to manage controlling this. I've been narrowed from 18 days to 10 days in isolation. So everyone should know these main things from the public health services that you have after discharge. You will have 3 days to show fever again. You will have 1 step forward, 2 steps back on your day 2. Day 3, I'll find out tomorrow. But I think it'll just be a little more tired, resty, not push yourself. And then hopefully by the following Sunday, I'll be free to walk to the market to buy groceries for 1 week and stay put. So that is a layout of everybody to try to take my story and kind of see if you can relate. So I hope everyone's doing well. I hope your families are doing well. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. And see you in the next video.